The icy moon of Kaidos hung in orbit around its dead planet, a barren wasteland of rock and metal that hadn't seen sunlight in eons. To the Galactic Coalition, it was nothing more than a footnote in the star maps, its significance erased by time. But now it pulsed with power, unfathomable bursts of energy that rippled through hyperspace, disrupting trade routes and destabilizing nearby colonies. Commander Alyssa Kern of the Coalition Expeditionary Force stood on the bridge of the Eminence, her eyes fixed on the holographic projection of Kaidos. The readings were impossible. Fluctuations in quantum fields, bursts of electromagnetic energy, and faint traces of biosignatures. Whatever was down there, it wasn't natural. "Are we certain this isn't some fluke?" Alyssa asked, her voice sharp but controlled. The crew had learned to read between her calm tone. This wasn't the time for mistakes. "No fluke, Commander," replied Lieutenant Lan, the ship's science officer. His fronds twitched with unease as he pointed to the data stream. These energy signatures suggest advanced technology, and well... He hesitated, mandibles clicking nervously. "It matches something in the Coalition's ancient archives." Alyssa raised an eyebrow. "Ancient archives? How ancient?" Lan's voice dropped to a near whisper. "Pre-Coalition. Pre-galactic contact. It's human." Alyssa felt the room shift as her officers exchanged glances. Humanity had only joined the Coalition a few centuries ago, barely making their mark on the broader galaxy. The idea that their ancestors could have left something this powerful behind was unsettling. "Explain," she ordered. Lan brought up an archival record, its pixelated image a testament to its age. The file was incomplete, but a single phrase sent a chill through the room. Genesis Initiative Classified Autonomous Terraforming Project. Before Alyssa could respond, the ship's comm system flared to life. "Commander, this is engineering. We're picking up a transmission from the moon's surface. It's on a human frequency, encrypted." Alyssa's gut tightened. A transmission? After centuries of silence? "Patch it through," she commanded. Static filled the bridge, followed by a voice that sounded warped and ancient, like it was dragging itself through the cosmos. "To any descendants of Earth, you have found us. You must terminate the Genesis Directive before it awakens." The message cut out, leaving only silence. Alyssa felt her heart pounding. Terminate? Awaken? What had humanity's ancestors done? "Lan, do we have anything in our archives about this Genesis Directive?" she asked, her tone a mixture of urgency and dread. Lan shook his head. "Nothing substantial. Whatever this is, it was buried. Intentionally." Before anyone could process the implications, an alarm blared across the bridge. "Commander!" shouted the tactical officer. "We've got movement on the moon's surface. Something is powering up." Alyssa turned back to the hologram. The icy surface of Kaidos glowed faintly as fissures began to spread across its crust. "Powering up what?" "No idea, ma'am," the officer replied. "But whatever it is, it's big." "Prepare a landing party," Alyssa ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos. "If we don't stop this, we may be dealing with more than just a forgotten experiment." The crew scrambled to their stations, but Alyssa's mind lingered on the message. What had humanity unleashed all those centuries ago? And more importantly, why had it been buried so deeply? The landing craft Vanguard descended through the icy atmosphere of Kaidos, its hull groaning as frost formed along its edges. Commander Alyssa Kern stood in the center of the small crew, her grip firm on the overhead handle. Around her, the landing team, 4 Coalition specialists handpicked for the mission, checked their equipment with attention that matched the hum of the ship's engines. "Final approach," said Lieutenant Raoul, the pilot, his voice crackling through the comms. "Landing zone looks stable, but I'm reading surface anomalies. Recommend caution." Alyssa glanced at the sensor readings displayed on her wrist console. The anomalies were irregular bursts of electromagnetic energy, too coordinated to be natural. "Noted. Keep the engines hot. We may need to leave in a hurry." The Vanguard settled onto the icy surface with a hiss of hydraulics. As the ramp lowered, a blast of frigid air swept through the cabin, carrying with it a faint metallic tang. Alyssa activated her visor, overlaying a HUD across her vision. The readouts confirmed what she feared. The energy signatures were intensifying. The team disembarked, their boots crunching against the ice. Surrounding them was a desolate expanse of glacial formations, their jagged peaks glinting in the dim light of Kaidos' distant star. But the real focus lay ahead. A colossal structure embedded in the ice, its edges smooth and angular, pulsing faintly with a dull blue light. "What the hell is that?" muttered Carter, the team's demolitions expert. His eyes scanned the structure, a mix of awe and unease in his expression. Alyssa approached, her steps deliberate. The structure seemed almost alive, its surface rippling as though responding to their presence. "Lan, what's your read on this?" The science officer crouched near the structure, his equipment clicking softly as it analyzed the material. "It's not metal. Not entirely. There's an organic component here, but nothing I recognize. Whatever this is, it's been dormant for a long time. Until now," Alyssa said grimly. She reached out, hesitating for a moment before placing her hand on the surface. It was warm despite the freezing air. Beneath her palm, she felt a subtle vibration, a heartbeat. Before she could pull away, the structure emitted a deep hum and a section of it began to shift. Panels slid apart seamlessly, revealing an entrance that glowed with the same eerie blue light. "Commander," said Carter, his voice taut. "This feels like a bad idea." "It probably is," Alyssa admitted, but she stepped forward regardless. "Stay close and keep weapons ready." Inside, the temperature rose sharply, the icy exterior giving way to smooth corridors lined with glowing conduits. The walls seemed to hum with life, casting shifting shadows that played tricks on the eye. As the team moved deeper, they passed strange symbols etched into the walls, spirals, lines, and patterns that seemed vaguely human, but unfamiliar. "What are these?" asked Tessa, the team's linguistics specialist, tracing her gloved hand over one of the symbols. "They almost look like DNA sequences." Before anyone could respond, the corridor opened into a massive chamber. In its center stood a towering obelisk, its surface etched with the same glowing patterns. Surrounding it were pods, hundreds of them, each one emitting a faint light that flickered rhythmically. "Those look like cryopods," Carter said, his voice hushed. Alyssa approached one of the pods, her heart racing. Inside was a figure, a human, or at least something that looked human. Its features were sharp, its body impossibly perfect, as though designed rather than born. "Commander," Lan called out, his voice shaking. "The energy signatures are spiking. I think the obelisk is waking them up." As if on cue, the obelisk flared with blinding light, and a deep, resonant voice filled the chamber. It wasn't a language, not exactly, but the meaning was clear. Protocol activated, Genesis Directive restored, initiating ascension. "What does that mean?" Tessa asked, her voice trembling. Alyssa didn't answer. Her focus was on the obelisk, which now displayed a holographic map of the galaxy. One by one, stars began to blink red. "It means this isn't just a relic," Alyssa said, her voice tight. "It's a weapon, and it's targeting the entire galaxy." "To be continued,"